Hello and welcome back to the Irish Tennis Updates podcast. My name is Adam, your host. On this episode, I've been catching up once again with Mark Finnegan to hear all about the progress of the Irish players over in the college tennis system so far this season. It's been a few weeks since we've caught up, and the season is approximately halfway done, so there's a lot to catch up on. In this episode, we also talk about some college tennis results here in Ireland, as well as the DLTC Winter League that's been taking place over the last few weeks and is now moving into the knockout stage. And as we say during this episode, huge amount of tennis taking place there, and it's great to see all the competition around the Dublin area. Without further ado, let's get into this episode and hear all about the tennis recently. Here is Mark Finnegan.
All right, Mark. Welcome back. Just to have a bit of a catch up here on all things college tennis and team tennis in general. But I guess we'll kick it off, I think, with the US college scene. So how are things with you, and how have the last few weeks been on college tennis since we caught up last?
Adam, great to be on again, and this is our first one of the year. So we've had about 7 weeks of competition taking place in college. So most universities now will be, pretty deep into their schedule, and maybe some 50% finished with their schedule, and they're going to be starting to get into conference matches very soon. And look, we've had a lot of activity with Irish tennis players playing and competing. So we have even more players in the system than we did last year. So it's great. So I'm looking forward to diving in and giving everyone an update on what all of those players are doing. So
absolutely, I'm looking forward to hearing all about it. So I guess if you want to kick it off with all the girls, how the progress has been for them over the last few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know last year we started off out west, so let's start again out west. We got the twins at Idaho State doing great. Team record of 5-1. So that's a really good start to the year for them. Wins over Utah State, actually. Sol Olida and Zara Ryan actually ended up playing against each other in singles, with Sol winning that one, and the overall team Idaho State beating Utah State in a close one, 4-3. Lola's been great. She's been moved up actually up to 3 singles here position. So Sol's playing 5 singles and Lola's playing 3 singles, and they're both playing 2 doubles together, and they actually started off at 1 doubles. So all those girls have moved up and nicely in their positions in their university. Zara's team is actually, their only loss is to Idaho State. They're 4-1 on the season, and Zara's 3-1 in singles. So she's doing absolutely fantastic. I know she battled some injuries, and it's just kind of getting back into form now at the moment. A lot of issues there with COVID-related stuff with Boise State and Shauna Heffernan. Not necessarily the Shauna, but the team. They got a ton of their first few matches cancelled. And it seems like they're just getting going. Their team record is 0-1 with a loss to a top 25 team in Washington. Shauna's played the first match at number 2 doubles. And Sophia Durvin, I haven't seen much really in relation to her. Maybe she could be injured. I don't know personally what's going on, but the record of the team is 4-3 with a very tough schedule. But I have not seen her too much in action except for one match where it was a bit lopsided with the results, so which maybe tells me there was a possibility of an injury there. But I don't know what's going on. Shauna Casey. Shauna's been playing a lot at 3 doubles this year. I know the team had a tough time last year. A new coach again to that team, and she's been playing primarily at the number 3 doubles position. She is undefeated in all her 3 matches so far at the 3 doubles position. So she's making some improvements, especially on the double side. Okay, and we got a newbie, freshman, so just starting this year with Brita Brennan. She's at Wofford in South Carolina, and her singles record right now at the moment is 2-3 at the number 5 and 6 positions in singles, and has been playing, I think, in and out of the doubles. So great to see her in her freshman campaign. And also another newbie, Sarah O'Connor, over out west in New Mexico. Team's doing absolutely fantastic there with a 6-1 record. Sarah's been playing primarily at the number 2 and 3 position. And has a respectable record of 3-4 and 4-1 in doubles. So she's off to a great start. Cara Courtney in San Francisco. I know Cara had a tough time with injuries last year. Seems like she's healthy again now. She's back playing in that number 3 single spot and number 2 double spot. Team record of 2-4 against a very good schedule so far. But it seems like to me that she's healthy and she's at full go now, meaning that she's moved up a couple of spots in the lineup. Georgia Drummy down there in Duke. We know we talked a lot about her last year and all the success the team had and she had. Currently a record of 6-1 for the team, with their only loss to Oklahoma at the National Indoor Championships. And she's playing at the number 1 singles and the number 1 doubles spot predominantly. Jessica Lehmann off to a pretty solid start at number 1 position in the lineup. So she's moved up quite a few spots too as well. Was Big South Conference Player of the Week 1 week, which was great for her. The team has been struggling with a 2-8 record, but a lot of those matches have been really tough 4-3 losses. So she's doing great and playing in the top position in doubles and singles in the lineup. I think in doubles anyway. I'm not 100% sure on that. Ali O'D moved up again in the lineup, which is great to see. Their team record is 7-3. I know they had a great season last year too as well with their team record. Ali is currently 6-3 in doubles record and has played 3 through 6 in the singles lineup. So she was predominantly at 5 and 6 last year. So it's great to see her moving up to that 3, 4, 5 spots. And she's actually currently 5 and 4 around her record. So keep the good work, Ali. Anna Botel again from Rice. Doing great. Team record 6-2. She predominantly played in that 4 position in the lineup last year, and it seems like she's taking up that position again. Her current singles record is 4-2, and that team is always one of the best teams that are in the nation in college tennis. Great to see Emily O'Donovan solidifying herself in the lineup too as well for Seton Hall. Her team record is 5 and 4. Emily is currently 4 and 2, playing at the number 6 singles and 1 and 4 at number 3 doubles. So nice to see her in the singles and doubles lineup on a consistent basis. Ellie Murphy is teamed up with a newbie, Alwyn Ryan-Bovey, and they're kind of rejuvenating the program at Appalachian State. The program is going through a bit of a transition at the moment. Team record is 1 and 5 against a solid schedule. Ellie's been taking up the 4 singles position and the number 1 doubles position. And also Ollie has been taking up the number 5 position and has a record of 3 and 2 in singles and has been playing a little bit at the 2 doubles spot. So great to see those 2 girls, 2 Irish girls together doing some good things. And I know that program will be moving forward in the future. We've also got Ciara O'Toole, which we mentioned last year. She transferred and is at a new university at Sacred Heart. So this is her 2nd year at Sacred Heart. Doing great, playing at the number 2 position in singles. She has a 5 and 6 record. The overall team record is 7-7. And she's also currently playing at the top double spot at a 4 and 3 record. I haven't seen Jenny Timmerton on the Michigan State roster, so I'm not sure if she's graduated. I thought she may have 1 more year, but don't see any results on her or on the roster. So maybe there's a good chance she has graduated. So it would be good to find that out. And we obviously know Julie Byrne graduated and Lucy Octave finished her eligibility and everything like that. So moving into Laura Fitzgerald from Illinois State. I know Laura is using, I think, her extra year of eligibility with COVID. Team record is 7 and 4. And she's been playing a lot of doubles and she's been in and out of the lineup in singles. So yeah, so moving forward now a little bit more to the Division 2 and NAIA side.
Yeah,
we have an extra couple of girls there, Adam, that have just taken up into that into those universities. One of those is Megan Butler. She's at Arkansas Tech. The team hasn't really played that much, as we discussed before in the past. Division 2 schools do start a tiny bit later than Division 1 schools, according to the rules. Her team record right now is 1 and 2, but I have not seen Megan featured in that lineup. Another newbie is Tara Stewart from Northern Ireland. And Tara's team is 3 and 3, and she's been playing primarily at the number 5 singles and number 3 doubles. Her university is an NAIA university in Kansas called Tabor College. We talked a lot about Emer Mar's success last year in Division 2 at Barton College. Her record currently is team record is 2 and 3, and she is back in the top spot of doubles and singles in the lineup there too as well. And lastly, not lastly, we've got 2 more. We've got Emily Connolly, who had such a fantastic run last year, all the way to semifinals of national championships. her team record in her NAI Indiana and Wesleyan, her team record is 26 and 1. So she takes the biscuit for how many matches that her team has played so far. She primarily played at the number 3 doubles position, and she comes in and out of the lineup at the number 6, very similar to last year. And lastly, we've a newbie, Roshi Murphy, which is doing great things at Mercyhurst, lovely private academic university in the Northeast, Division 2. And the team record is currently 2 and 5. They've played a couple of Division 1 schools, and Roshi has been playing primarily at the number 3 singles and number 1 doubles. And they've actually had a couple of wins over some of the Northeast Division 1 schools. So that's great to see. So keep up the good work, Roshi.
That's brilliant. And obviously, as you say, there's definitely a lot of action there, and great to see over the few weeks since we have caught up. A lot of tennis, and some teams more than others, but a lot of tennis and a lot of success, which is great to hear.
So, moving on to the Bucks League and the British university system, we now actually have two of our players over there playing. Kate Gardner is at Imperial College. She's been playing at number one singles position and number one doubles, and she's undefeated. Imperial College is one of the top academic, if not the top academic school in England, outside of Oxford and Cambridge. So great to see her. I know she's competing a lot and being our recent senior Irish national champion. I think she will get an opportunity to play in the individual Bucks League Championship, but because her university is not as academic orientated, they don't play in the top tier, but I think they've just got promoted and will be in the top tier of the Bucks League next year. And then we also have Ciara Hill at Durham. She's been playing predominantly on the second team, but hopefully she could be making a push to be on the first team. And lastly, on the JUCO front, great to see Georgia Lillian Brown for St. Petersburg College all the way down there in Tampa, Florida. That team is currently 4-1, with their only loss against the number one JUCO team in the country, Tyler Junior College. Gigi's been playing 4 singles and number 2 doubles, and the team will always be one of the top 5 junior colleges in the country.
Great, and obviously great to hear about other countries where players are playing their college tennis as well as the States. And before we go into the guys, I might just mention something that was going on recently in college tennis back here in Ireland, which obviously maybe there isn't as much action as we hear about it in the States, but it still is a thing, and we still do have tennis going on over here. And just about 3 weeks ago now, we had the InterVarsities, which is the annual national competition between where all the colleges come together and they play the tournament. So this year it was hosted by UCD, and it took place in Lansdowne Tennis Club over a weekend a couple of weeks ago. There was obviously a strong lineup with teams from a lot of the colleges around the country. And the winner for the girls team in the end was UCD, who hosted it, and they had a very strong team. They beat Trinity in the final of that. And then on the guys' side, the winners were TU Dublin, who again had a really, really strong team. And they beat UCD in the final. And then the semi-finalists for that one were Trinity and were DCU, who also had good runs. So just to mention that, it's great to see some college tennis back here in Ireland, and some really strong competition over that weekend. So as I say, it's great to see that as well.
And Adam, on that front, I know you competed, and I know obviously Trinity have been very dominant in that series, and so hard luck to you. But it was also great to see the depth of this year. There was easily 4 teams that could have won that event, and the fact that we've had the team that won it had a professionally ranked player on it in the ATP, another serious Irish tennis player who's done great with John Collins, and then a couple of guys that have played Division 1 tennis on that team, playing deep into lineup. So it just shows that the quality was there this year for the InterVarsity. It's great to see that. We need to keep getting that more exposure and glorifying that one weekend of the year and making it the best we possibly can, because I think it's a great experience. I think everybody enjoys it, and we want to make that as competitive as we can.
Absolutely, that's totally it. And as you say, that pro player that was playing for TUD, of course, Amar Elamine, who as people know is having a good go of it in futures recently. So I guess if you want to move on to look at the guys back to move to the States, maybe.
Absolutely, yeah, and I know last year we started with Thomas, so we'll start with Thomas again. Thomas Brennan, who obviously had a great Christmas, has carried that forward into some great form. I know he played a couple of pro events over the Christmas break too as well. He was named Big Player of the Week in the Big East, which is a really, really big deal. He also had a massive win over Indiana, which would be a top tier program. He is currently right now at the moment 8-4 at the number 1 position in the lineup. So that's a really, really great record for him, and he's shown some big things this year, leading by some great examples. So great to see that really big push for Thomas his senior year, and I think he might be wanting to try to to maybe do one more year too as well. So keep up the good work. Oisin Schaefer's team is a very impressive 9-0 this year. Oisin is currently 5-3 at that number 2 position and is undefeated at number 1 doubles. So Oisin carrying over that great form from last year. It seems like the 1 and 2 spots for Montana have been rocks for them, with another great player that plays alongside Oisin. Sean Keane at Coker College over there in South Carolina, a team record of 3-6. He has actually stepped up and now been playing number 2 in the lineup. So a big step up from Sean, a couple of positions. He started off the season well, but actually sprained his ankle. So he's been out for a few weeks, but I know he's coming back this week. So that'll be a great lift for the team. Matthew Saunders' team hasn't competed that much. They're 0-2 right now at the moment. Matthew has been predominantly playing at the 5 and 6 position. Sorry, excuse me. That team record is 8-5. Excuse me. He is 0-2 at the number 5 and 6 position. So excuse that. So yeah, they've played a decent amount of matches, and hopefully Matthew can get more solidified in that lineup. Mark Griffin over there at Marian University, NAIA, record is 8-3. You know, he's moved up to the top spot in that lineup, which is great to see. They actually played Holy Cross at Notre Dame last week and had a really tough 4-3 loss. Reason why I mentioned that is we've got a newbie and Kieran McCarthy, who is now representing Holy Cross at Notre Dame. Kieran played at number 6 position in that singles match and number 3 doubles. And their team record is only actually for spring is only 1-0 right now at the moment. So they're just getting going into things. And then Hugh O'Sullivan, who's our recent under-18 Irish National Championship, will also be joining that Holy Cross and Notre Dame team. He was supposed to join them in spring, but had a very unfortunate injury right before he was supposed to leave. So he will be joining them in fall. So very, very strong team there for Holy Cross and Notre Dame. To give you guys an understanding of that is their number 1 player before a couple of months ago actually played Oscar Hushin, who plays Davis Cup for us, and beat Oscar 2-2 at a future. So very strong level still at the NAI level there. So and Mark Griffin actually played that same player and gave him a really tough match. So well done, Mark, there too as well. Going back to Division 1 here with a combo of Northern Irish Ulster players, Dylan Lehmann and Keane Mcdonnell. Dylan is a newbie. He just joined the team in January and has gotten off to a fantastic start there with their team is a 6-4 record, but Dylan is 7-1 in the singles position at number 6 and has played number 3 doubles and has a great record too as well. So he's joined Keane Mcdonnell, and Keane has been playing at the primarily number 3 position. I know he played 3 and 4 mostly last year too as well. His record is 5-3 in singles right now, and they're just coming off a really big win over a conference rival there last weekend, which I know was a big win for them. Moritz Stenzer at Rollins College doing good things down there. They got a brand new coach. He has been playing 5 and 6 singles. His record is 2-2 and the team record is 2-3. Always play a tough schedule, just coming off a loss to the number 1 team in Division 2 called Barry University, which are very, very tough. Good to see Carl Butler getting more and more action. I knew he would. He put a lot of work in this summer at Gardner Webb. Team record of 6-6 so far on the season. Carl has been playing primarily at the number 3 double spot at a 4-3 record, and sometimes features in the singles lineup. Christian Duffy at Stonehill College, they had a bit of a tough year last year, didn't play him a huge amount, but already off to a 4-0 record. But that matches were played in the fall. They have not played a spring match. I know their first spring matches on March the 6th, so good luck there. And we got Fergus Rourke, who's done a great job at Spring Hill College. He's actually now playing at the top spot in singles. For Spring Hill, their record is 3-4 as a team, and his current singles record is 3-3. So keep up the good work there, Fergus. Good to see you finishing strong in the number 1 spot. Philip Lynch, who I know battled a lot of injuries over the last year. Team record there at Sacred Heart, 3-7. You know, having a bit of a tough time. Philip looks like he's just still getting going back into things. He's been playing a lot of singles at the number 5 and 6 position and a number 2 doubles position. So I know he'll probably move up the order as he gets his competitiveness back. Neil O'Connor, the Coastal Carolina, out there in a Division 1 school, their record is 5-5. They've played a lot of really good competitive matches, a lot of close 4-3s. He has been in and out of the doubles and singles lineup. Great to see this one, Charlie Barry at Tulane. So Charlie has moved into the top spot. Last year had a tough time making the lineup, but this year, great job of being able to play the top position of the lineup there in doubles. Team record is 4-6. Tulane are a little bit down this year, normally a top 30 team in the country. You know, he's been battling for that number 6 position in the singles lineup. So he's played in and out of the singles. So playing 1 doubles and 6 singles, well done, Charlie. Keep up the great work. And obviously he's putting a lot of effort into his tennis and getting better month to month. Jonathan Garcia at Mack, 3-3 team record, playing primarily at the number 2 singles and number 1 doubles position. Actually played and beat Sacred Heart, Philip Lynch's team, a few weeks back. And so, so we've also got another newbie here, and someone that there was a great podcast on recently, Connor Gannon. Connor is playing for the number 1 team in the country, not currently, but were a few weeks ago. They're in and around that 2 or 3 spot, I believe, at the moment. A team record of 11-2. Connor's done a great job of competing for that singles number 6 position. He has 3-2 record in singles at that 6th position. To give you an idea of how difficult that is to make that starting 6, he's up against a top 20 ITF junior player who's ranked, who's fighting for that number 6 spot too as well. So he's also a freshman, that player. So to give you an idea of Connor's up against a top 20 ITF junior player. So that's incredible achievement by him. And he's obviously improving immensely over there. So excited to see all his improvement when he comes back this summer. Another newbie here for Binghamton University, Josh Roflandi. Team is struggling a lot. I know they lost their 1 and 2 players to start the year, which is always very tricky. Team record is 1-10. They've lost, I think, 4 or 5 really tight 4-3 losses. So obviously that top 2 players in the lineup would have been huge for them to have. Josh has primarily been playing at that number 3 singles position. Had a great win over there in singles against NJIT, coming down from a deficit, and has played actually in the top position in the doubles lineup and having a great success with a 4-4 record. So great to see Josh over there doing great things. On the Bucks lead front, we got obviously those trio of Dorian Koss, Peter Corey, and Keane McGuire. Keane McGuire has recently just joined that team this year. It looks like to me that they were the champions of the Bucks League, which was huge. So I know those guys all kind of play in and out of the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd teams there. So great to see that, and well done to those 3 being part of a university that is the English champions. And then we've also got a few newbies that have gone over to high schools over there in America, Adam. So this is something I've started doing a little bit recently, is helping people find spots in high schools because of how difficult COVID was. 2 of those guys right now at the moment, Joseph Kalidas is playing for Macaulay High School in Chattanooga, which would be on record one of the top most competitive high schools according to the UTR. He actually won a USTA event a couple of weeks ago, which was great to see, under 16s, which well done, Joseph. His UTR has already risen a lot since he's been there. So, and I know they're really excited about him there as the semester goes along. And then we've got Zach Murphy, who recently attended Montverde High School, which is an exclusive high school in Orlando. And actually, believe it or not, Zach has won his first UTR event over there, beating actually a UCF college player in the final, that used to play for UCF and has actually made the semis of another. So just a little mention to those 2 guys too as well.
That's brilliant. And just, I guess, to go back for a second, when you were mentioning Connor Gannon off in Tennessee, that podcast was with Fabio from Functional Tennis, and I did listen to that, and I would definitely recommend this to anybody listening to this. And also, I watched recently, a little bit of one of Connor's matches actually in a final of some events against another team over there, and I got to catch a little bit of that. And I mean, I found out about that through following the Twitter for the university. So I guess that's something that I'd kind of just point out to people, that if you do follow, if there's a team that you've heard on this and you do follow their Twitter or Instagram or something like that, you can hear about when they are playing, and often if the stream's available, how to tune into those and follow a bit more closely, which I think would be a nice thing to do.
Yeah, look, the college tennis system is the most progressive system in the world for tennis, in my opinion. Like, they're getting ready to do something with Tennessee again with the SEC network. I actually posted on the other day. They're going to be doing Cracked Rackets as 2 guys who do a really good job over there. Similar to yourself, Adam, they just love what they do, and they love promoting the sport. They do a kind of almost like that NFL Red Zone kind of idea, or Soccer Saturday, kind of Gillette Soccer Saturday on Sky Sports. Well, they're doing that for all of the SEC matches one weekend, where they'll be televising that actual Tennessee match, but alongside that they'll be doing live feeds in with the play site from all of the SEC matches. You know, this is the way forward for television and watching tennis on television, you know, especially for team tennis. So well done, college tennis, well done, Cracked Rackets, and well done, SEC Network, which is a part of the ESPN network, for putting that on. And I think it'll be an exciting way to view college tennis.
That's brilliant. A great kind of service to have, as you say. And just move on to something else then, and stick with this idea of team tennis, which obviously we've talked a lot about team tennis in the States, and now something that a lot of people will be familiar with is team tennis back here in terms of the DLTC, the Winter League, which is currently ongoing. We've finished the group stages as we're talking now, and moving into the knockout rounds over the next couple of weekends. And it's great to see, obviously, over the last few weeks, you know, there's a huge amount of competitive tennis kind of around the Dublin area. For the first time, we do have a class 8 for both the men's and the ladies, which just goes to show the kind of the increase in interest and demand for these kind of league team positions. And now we've obviously got extra teams, which is great to see kind of across all levels. Just to mention in terms of kind of you know, to show kind of the quality that there is. So across all levels, so in terms of the quality there is at those upper levels, so players like Julian Bradley, Oscar O'Hushin, Sam Barry, I've been playing a lot of matches. Ruth Copas, Gordie O'Neill, and then some older players who are still playing great stuff, like Owen Casey, Scott Barron. So a huge amount of really high level tennis that is being played. And just to look at the class 1, which teams have been doing well in class 1. Firstly, for the ladies, the semi-finals, so that the teams who've made it out of the group stages, we have Mount Pleasant against David Lloyd, and then also Donnybrook against Naas. And for the men's in class 1, there is Naas again, has made it out, and they're playing Fitzwilliam, and then Glenageary against Templeogue in the other semi-final. And it's highly impressive there from Templeogue, who in the last campaign got promoted from class 2 up to class 1, and now are excelling in class 1. So great to see that from Templeogue. And then to look a little briefly at class 2, there's also for the ladies, firstly, Glenageary and Donnybrook also have teams through in class 2. Other clubs like Wicklow Town, great to see. Shankill, the Trinity team is through, which is nice. Class 2 men's, again, Templeogue has a second team through to the playoffs in class 2. Also really strong campaigns from clubs like Leopardstown, Carrick Mines, and David Lloyd. To move on a little bit then, just to look at class 3, which teams have had a lot of success in class 3. For the ladies, a lot of those same teams, again, having success in class 3. Also clubs from Donabate, from Bray, from Terranure, Lansdowne have had a strong campaign. Then looking into the men's, again, a lot of the same teams, also teams like Trim, Stackellen, Charleville, Meadowvale, Deer Park. So it's great to see, you know, bigger clubs, also some smaller clubs having a lot of success. And moving on down then, I did mention class 8, so for the first time is being played here, and that's great to see. And it is a chance for newer clubs or smaller clubs who don't have the same amount of players as some of these bigger clubs to have some success. So in class 8, we have clubs like Ratoath, Trackside, Navan, Leixlip, St. Anne's, and Swords, who all have got through to playoffs. So the very best of luck to them. And a final note that I'll make, highly impressive from 2 particular teams throughout the league, who are the only 2 teams to have finished with the maximum 15 out of 15 points, so that they won all their 5 matches 3-0. So well done to the LCC first team in ladies class 4, finishing with 15 points, and also to St. Anne's Lawn Tennis Club, the first team there, which is in class 7 for the men's. Those 2 teams, the only 2 teams who've gone 15 out of 15. So well done to them, and best of luck in the playoffs. So that's just a bit of a wrap there on across the group stages for all of the Winter League, and we move into playoffs this coming Sunday. So the very best of luck to everybody playing there.
Adam, it's great to see all, like, the amount of tennis that was played on these Sundays. You know, I can only relate to Naas, but it is impossible on Sundays to get a tennis court in Naas because of the fact that there's so many league matches going on at all levels. It's just fantastic. It does show that sometimes people don't realize our country is so healthy when it comes to participation in tennis and the amount of people playing tennis. And I think that's only increased in the last couple of years. So, Tennis Ireland do deserve a lot of credit, and the DLTC deserve a lot of credit for being able to run such a well-oiled machine where this team competition format of league is so strong and so well represented. So, me, I'm all about my team, and ultimately, I think it's how you enjoy your tennis for the long term, for years and years after you've finished playing, maybe as competitively as you would have when you're maybe in your 20s. So.
No, absolutely. As you say, it is just brilliant to see the amount of tennis. So like a shout out to DLTC and everyone who makes this happen. And then also, every single player, there's hundreds and hundreds of players that are playing these leagues. So well done to everybody. And as we said, very best of luck in the playoffs to try and get promoted for the next campaign. So Mark, any other points that you'd like to make on this episode? I guess we had a nice look at across team tennis for college tennis in the States, college tennis here in Ireland, and just there at the Winter League, again, team tennis theme.
No, looking forward to Summer League, looking forward to under 18, watching to see how the under 18 league Leinster League teams go. I know there's some other leagues around the island of Ireland. So the biggest thing I would say to every junior, every adult is any chance you get to represent your club and represent yourself in league, take it. I think it's something that we need to prioritize and reward more, especially at the junior level, is, if our goal is to end up having them prepared and ready to go to college and beyond, then we have to make sure that we're rewarding them from a junior standpoint for playing and representing their teams.
Right. And on that junior side, we did just a week or two ago have the first of our international events here in Ireland, the first Tennis Europe Under 12 event, which, as we said a while ago, there's a large number of them coming up this year, which is brilliant. But we've had the first of those now, and as from what I can see, it was a good success. So that's great to see as well.
Absolutely. And look, we didn't mention today the Spring National Championships also that took place as well at Westwood. So congratulations also to all those winners too as well at the in their age groups, and an amazing achievement. And it was great for Westwood to actually host that event too as well. That Westwood is one of our hidden gems when it comes to facilities in Ireland, with those those access to those indoor hard courts. So thank you so much to Westwood for hosting that.
A huge thanks once again to Mark for his time with this episode. It's always great to hear about the progress of all the Irish players in the US college tennis scene. Please do join us again in a few weeks to see how things are getting on. And until then, get out there, play some tennis, and enjoy.